outside, in the kitchen.
Is she okay?
Just right, and she found him.
Is there anyone else inside the house?
No, look, they're all out visiting, thank God.
Mate. Behind the car, thanks. I'll take care of it.
Man, bastard set the place alight. What do we do now?
You just stay here, but that's what you're going to want. How's it going, mate?
Who are you?
I'm Nick. And what's your name?
Danny. Daniel. Daniel, come to judgment.
Hey, Daniel, do you want to tell me what you're doing here?
This is my temple of the Lord God.
Yeah, well, I tell you, mate, looks like a kitchen to me.
The Lord is everywhere. He was born in a stable, you know.
Yeah, I've heard that. I have heard that. Now, I know this may look like your temple, but it's actually somebody else's kitchen, and I reckon they might want to use it.
The blood of the lamb. Gran cooks a leg of lamb every Sunday.
Yeah? And I bet you helped her sharpen the knives, didn't you? Because you've done a very good job there.
Will you tell her that I did so she won't be angry with me?
Dan, I will do that. I will, if you just drop that knife and slide it across.
Don't fawn on me.
No, I won't do that, mate, I won't. Just drop the knife and slide it across the floor, mate. Just slide it across the floor to me. Go on. Well done, mate. Good. So, tell you what you should do, Dan. Put some clothes on. Come outside with me and my friend.
You don't understand. I'm safe in here. If I leave this, they'll come.
Who might they be, mate?
The night things, they whisper in my ear. They tell me I'm a child of darkness. Darkness is everywhere. Darkness everywhere.
What are that, eh? There's heaps of light out there, isn't there? Go on, mate. You just put the coat on. You come outside with me and Adam.
Hello, Magda. The usual. There you go.
Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you.
We'll see you next month.
God willing, Sergeant. God willing.
Poor old duck.
Who's met a creep?
Why? Because she believes she needs our official permission to keep on living.
Yep. Oh, she's harmless, I suppose.
But you believe people like her should be tucked away somewhere nice and safe.
Yeah, that's not very fair.
Dachau wasn't fair, Patterson. Life isn't fair.
Come on, Danny. You take a seat over there, will you, mate?
You're going to lock me up.
No, we're not.
No, come for me. The whispers.
You'll be right. Just sit down
Don't
there.
lock me up, Nick.
Go on, just sit down, mate.
Because I won't be able to get away from them.
Look here, you're safe. You see that? Bit of light for you. Boss, have a word.
It's an armed intruder, I take it.
Yeah.
You got a name yet?
There's Danny, or Daniel Locke.
Locke. There used to be Locks in the district years ago. An old couple, they're probably dead now.
Oh, he's going on about his granny's Sunday roast.
Well, there might be a connection. Did you look in his bag?
Yeah.
Any ID?
Well, there's nothing useful. He's got $40 in cash, a bus ticket from Adelaide and some personal stuff. That's about it.
I was hoping for an early mark.
Well, what are we going to do with him? I mean, you heard him. He's terrified of being locked up.
That's not appropriate anyway. Well, there was no sign of forced entry at the Lucchini place.
No, he just walked in through the door. He even brought his own candles. Don't worry, it's all on the incident report.
All right, you run him over to the hospital and... Look at him. Look at him. Might be able to get him a 3-day committal. I'll try and find out where he's from.
Somebody else's problem, eh?
I'll let him know you're coming.
Right. You'll be right, mate. Adam's in the bag. No. Don't look after you, Danny. Come on, Danny. Let go! Danny! Fantastic.
Well, this man needs stitches. Did you have to be quite so forceful?
Well, he slipped and fell, actually.
How unfortunate. I understand Sergeant Croydon wants a 3-day committal. You think you have cause?
Well, we believe him to be a danger to himself and to others, yes.
It's a bit hard to tell when he's in this state.
Yeah, well, you didn't see him with a carving knife in his hand. It's off his nut.
And that's your professional assessment, is it, Constable? I'll keep it in mind. Does he have a history of psychiatric illness?
Well, we don't know yet, but he'd have to, wouldn't he?
Look, I'll certainly keep him in overnight. I want to keep him under obs for possible concussion anyway. But we simply don't have the facilities to treat him here if he has a major psychiatric illness. This is just a little country hospital.
I have to tell you. Just get out! I'm sick of the sight of you. Get out! And take these with you. I don't want your flowers or your pity.
Pity?
You heard me. Who the hell are you?
I'm Senior Constable Schultz, sir. Would you mind keeping the noise down? You're disturbing the whole hospital.
Just take her with you and I'll be sweetness and light itself.
Rightio,
Mrs. O'Connor. It's called O'Connor.
Rightio, Mrs. O'Connell. Perhaps if you come back tomorrow.
I'm not going to change my mind. Don't bother.
Now, Mr. O'Connell, would you mind telling me what that was all about, sir?
None of your damn business. It's a private matter.
Oh, suit yourself. Just keep the noise down, will you? Anyway, there was this kerfuffle from down the hallway and there was this patient getting ready with his visitor, so I went in there to quieten him down.
Oh, what was that? They eating all his grapes or something?
Well, it was a domestic, he reckoned. She left, he quietened him down, and we got out of there.
Anyone we know?
Well, I've never seen him before, but his name's O'Connell.
Oh, isn't there an O'Connell dairying out Lake Emway?
Yeah, Albie. Is this bloke about my age?
Oh, give or take. His name's Terry.
I'll be damned. Never thought we'd ever see Terry O'Connell back in Mount Thomas.
Got a past, had him?
Oh, a bit of a blast from the past, I might say.
Yeah. Terry's back like a bad smell.
Well, you two are never exactly best mates.
You know what the bastard's gone and done? Turned up in a bloody wheelchair. As if Grace and me didn't have enough trouble running the farm.
So is that why he's in hospital?
It's something to do with the waterworks. Man's a cripple, reckons he can't walk again. Listen, you talk to him, will you? You're better off in Melbourne.
He is your brother, mate. Family.
Yeah, family. Some family you can do without.
I don't know how you can say a thing like that.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I think you came into my husband's room at the hospital.
Yeah, that's right.
Was he okay?
Yeah, he was good. He was fine.
Good. Thank you.
That's... No, good on you. No, I won't take you. Look, I'll just introduce you to the sergeant. Sergeant Croydon. This is the lady I was telling you about today. This is Mrs. O'Connell. This is Sergeant Tom Croydon.
How do you do?
My husband has spoken of you, I think. You were in Vietnam together.
Well, different units, but yeah. I didn't know Terry was married.
Oh, yes. If you'll excuse me.
She's got to be joking. Not even Terry would marry a nip.
Yeah, well, they were fighting like they were married.
Listen, mate, you got to talk to him, find out what's going on.
Why don't you talk to him yourself?
Because there'll only be another Blue, you know what it's like.
Albie.
Poor bloody Albie. Too gutless to tell me to get stuffed.
What's this I hear about you getting married?
Forgotten what it's like to live in a small town? Mate, there's a lot more of you than there used to be.
Thanks very much. Look, are you married or not?
Legally, yeah, but it's finished. It's over.
Not according to the lady.
She'll find out soon enough. Hey, I wish I could offer you a drink.
Well, never mind. When you get out, I'll buy you a beer down at the pub.
Yeah, that could be a while.
Why, what's wrong?
Well, if I was a horse, you'd shoot me. I'm a high para. Paraplegic. Look, file's at the end of the bed. Read it if you're that interested.
I'm sorry.
Keep your pity.
Sorry, Sergeant Croydon. We're about to close up for the night.
Righto, thanks. I better go.
Yeah. Hey, Tom. Look, mate, thanks for coming. See you around.
Like a record, yeah. See ya.
Mail here yet?
Yep, it's already been sorted.
Nothing else?
No, you waiting on something?
No, just a video.
You go blind, mate.
Not that sort of video. It's a history of the BSA.
Yeah? Well, complete with biker chicks.
Get your mind out of the gutter, PJ.
My best work's in the gutter, Maggie.
Yep, I know. Mount Thomas Police Constable Dole speaking. Yes, Mrs. Downer, can I help you? Yes, he is here, but he... look, what's it about? All right, then, we'll be down there straight away. Bye-bye. Oh, boss, trouble at the hospital, and I want us down there straight away.
It's probably that nuffy with the kitchen knife gone berserk again. Blood and guts everywhere.
He's dead. I saw him last night. He seemed in pretty good shape.
Nevertheless,
Natural cause?
come and see for yourself. Don't worry, nobody's touched anything. The sheet was pulled up to his chin already. That's why nobody noticed anything on the early rounds.
So, how?
As you can see, a most unnatural death. Entry point there, just above the thyroid cartilage. That's the Adam's apple. That explains why there's so little blood. And this would give access to the brainstem if the knife was angled up and back properly. Death would be fairly quick.
You'd need to know what you were doing, I guess.
Yes, it suggests a good knowledge of cranial anatomy.
Why wasn't he found sooner? Don't you do first rounds at 6 or so?
The patient complained of pain and poor sleep. He asked for extra medication last night. I imagine the night staff decided to let him sleep in.
That's a bit casual.
This is a country hospital, not the Royal Melbourne. We're a bit more relaxed. Besides, Mr. O'Connell was, difficult. Let sleeping doggy lie.
What about time of death?
Well, I'd guess, it's only a guess, sometime between 10 and midnight.
When was he last seen alive?
When the nurse came to clear out the last visitors. Well, I understand you were with him.
Yes. Have you, notified his family?
No, I thought I'd wait to see if you'd prefer to do that. His admission form gives Albin Xavier O'Connell as next of kin.
Yes, Albie. Well, we'll take care of that.
I'll notify the coroner then.
Any word on that young bloke our officers brought in yesterday? Daniel Locke?
There's no ongoing problems from the head wound, but he's probably schizophrenic. Apparently he has a psychiatrist. We're trying to find out who that is. And in the meantime, I've started him on some medication.
So you've committed him?
There's no need. He's here of his own free will.
Well, could you keep us informed as to his progress? We're going to need to interview him at some stage.
Certainly, Sergeant. Would you like coffee?
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
You wanted to see me.
Yes. I'm sorry, but some bad news for you. I understand you claim to be Terry O'Connell's wife.
I am his wife.
Well, I'm very sorry, but Terry O'Connell has died.
How? How did he die?
That's still to be established. But if you're married to him, why aren't you named as his next of kin?
Terry left the Philippines without my knowledge. When he came here, he was very angry with me. He probably named his brother.
Why was he angry?
A personal matter.
But, well, were you angry with him?
I was his wife. It would not have been appropriate.
I thought you might need this.
That is very kind, but no.
Hey, Tom, catch up with that brother of mine?
You got a minute, Albie? I got some bad news.
Yeah? Gonna be stuck with a bludger, am I? If he really married that nip, she gonna go after him. Dad'd be turning in his grave if he knew what was going on.
Albie, he's dead. Terry's dead.
What happened?
We don't know for sure.
Did he top himself?
What makes you think he might have?
Oh, he was talking about it. Asked me to help him.
Well, what did you say to that?
What do you reckon? The coward's way out. Wasn't worth risking a murder charge. What's going to happen to the farm?
Mrs. O'Connell, what did your husband do for a living?
He had retired.
Yeah, but before that?
He was a soldier.
Well, was he popular, well-liked?
We traveled a lot. One does not make many friends that way.
Did he owe money?
My husband was a wealthy man. He did not owe anyone anything.
Mrs. O'Connell, the circumstances surrounding your husband's death are very suspicious. Now, do you know if anyone might want to kill him? Benefit from his death?
I would benefit, of course. And Terry's brother, Alban.
Why is that?
Their father left the family property to both brothers. Teddy left his share to Alban.
How do you know that?
I am the executor of my husband's estate. I have, of course, seen his will.
But as forthcoming as a steel door.
Well, she knows it's murder.
Well, suspicious death, but she wasn't distressed or upset, nothing.
You think she's involved?
Up to her icy little heart and beyond.
Homicide's here, boss.
Detective Sergeant Nat Goff. Sorry. I got this flu that's going around.
Thought you blokes travelled in pairs.
Oh, they sometimes let us out without a keeper. You must be P.J. Hashem. I've heard about you.
Oh, nothing good, I hope.
My partner's wife's got chronic fatigue syndrome. He can't come near me when I'm ill, otherwise she picks up everything he takes home.
It's a bit of bad luck.
Yeah, isn't it? Look, I've sent the forensic boys straight over to the hospital. I want to get this one cleaned up as soon as possible.
Well, we've secured the crime scene and started interviewing the hospital staff.
Great. All right, let's get going. You can fill me in on the way.
He says that he knows Dad.
Why am I not surprised?
So, Meade's an opportunity with medical and hospital staff.
Yeah, but no motive.
Not an obvious one, no. Anyway, I want to talk to, what's her name? The doctor.
Zoe Hamilton.
Right.
Yeah, but she'd have no motive, though.
Yeah, we'll have a little chat with her anyway. Pretty, is she? All right, O'Connell. What about his wife?
She's a chilly little piece.
Ooh, didn't warm to your charm, eh?
She's also a major beneficiary under the will, apparently.
All right, who else had a motive?
Victim's brother, dairy farmer. Well, the property was jointly owned, but Albie ran it since the father died. Terry was scared he was going to come back for his share.
Two great principles in homicide. Who profits? Does he owe anybody any money? And look for the woman. Yeah, we're off to a good start.
You right?
Boss, this has just come in from missing persons, requesting information on a Danny Locke.
It's been the good news I've had all day.
Why was the victim in hospital?
Urinary tract infection. Not uncommon in paraplegia. Unfortunately, it's almost unavoidable when they have to self-catheterise so often. You see, the procedure involves the insertion of the catheter.
Yeah, we get the picture, Doctor. Now, you said before that Mr. O'Connell was a difficult patient. Why is that?
Expected the staff to be at his beck and call. Oh, he gave him a hard time if they didn't come running when he buzzed.
Understandable in a paralysed man, surely. He must have been in a lot of pain.
At the time of the initial trauma, possibly, but the wound had been healed for some months.
What caused it?
The gunshot wound to the thoracic spine, I understand.
Dr. Hamilton, some information's just come through about Danny Locke. Sir, forensic are finished with the body, so you're more than welcome to take a look before it goes back to Melbourne for the autopsy. They're not hopeful of finding any useful physical evidence, though.
Ah, terrific. Now I can speak to his psychiatrist and work out his proper medication levels. He's better today. He's calmer. Well, I have patients to attend to. Is that all?
For the moment. All right, let's go and have a look at the body and then interview the nursing staff.
Excuse me, sir. Constables Cooper and Patterson have already done that. They've gone back to the station to type up their reports for you.
Always interview the witnesses yourself, love. I'm sure your father would have taught you that.
Where's Nick?
I'm sorry, Nick's not here. Can we help you?
This is terrible, this place. I've got to get out of here.
It's all right, mate. Now, what's going on?
You're the police. You've got to help me.
Danny, you just take your time. Tell us what happened, all right?
I knew this would happen. The devil's on the loose. He's killing people. I've seen him. And if I don't get out of here, I'm going to be next.
Danny, there's nobody here but us. Can you tell us what you saw?
I told you, the devil.
But how did you know it was the devil, Danny?
I've seen him before. He's black from head to foot, and his eyes shine in the dark. And he carries a sharp knife to search out the smallest sin, and they shall burn in everlasting fire.
How big was this knife, mate?
It's quite small. For he shall search out the smallest sin, and the secrets of your heart shall be known to him.
How long's this fruitcake been here?
Constable Schultz brought him in late yesterday afternoon. He might have seen something.
Da Vinci?
Danny, what exactly did you see?
I told you, the devil. For he can spy out the desires and the devices of the heart, even your heart. And the wickedness of men is a delight to him.
I want to see the patient's records of the staff rosters for last night. Can you help me, love?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to. Patient records are confidential.
This is a murder investigation, sweetheart. If you just get me the files.
Sir, I get the feeling that he's seen something. We just need to get it out of him.
Yeah, well, if you can get anything out of him, I'll buy you a slab of beer.
You're on.
Didn't make peewees like that in my day.
Really? She happens to be a bloody good officer, mate.
I found Danny trying to hide these.
How'd they get dirty, Danny?
He went outside last night while everyone was asleep.
Right, that's it. Let's get him down to the station and do this properly.
Are you allowed to do that? He's a patient here.
He's also a suspect in a murder case, and yes, we are allowed to do that.
Can't you question him here?
No, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tape the interview.
I want her to come too.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
I won't talk to you unless she comes.
Is that all right with you, Doctor?
No problem.
Now, look, Daddy, nobody here is going to hurt you. And we're not going to let anybody else hurt you, all right? OK, now, last night, when everybody had gone to bed, did you go outside?
Can you speak up for the tape, please, mate?
Yes, I went outside.
Why did you do that?
Because the moon was shining through my window. She was so beautiful, I wanted to go outside and see her properly.
How did you get outside?
Through the big doors at the back.
But they close automatically. How did you get back inside?
That's easy. Bit of stiff cardboard in the lock. We used to do it all the time, one place I was at. Only place you can get out to get some fresh air.
All right. Now, when you got back inside, did you see anybody?
No.
Did you visit the man who died last night?
No.
Danny, you told us you saw the devil. Now, was the devil in this man's room?
No. I told you, he was outside. It was like a big black shadow following me. And I got scared and I came inside. You don't believe me. Do you believe me?
I'm just here to listen, Danny.
The man's as mad as a meat axe.
He's schizophrenic.
And he goes around threatening people with a kitchen knife.
Gosh, that's not my understanding of the incident. The only person at risk from Danny is Danny himself.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that.
Well, then you're a pig ignorant bigot. And you should be home in bed instead of out infecting half the countryside.
All right. Look, Doctor, how can we be sure that Danny's not violent considering the circumstances we found him in? Now, we know that he's a very bright young man.
Yes. He's very intelligent, but he's schizophrenic, not psychopathic. If anything, his thinking is too disorganised for him to have planned anything as premeditated as this.
Oh, you're the expert.
Yes, I have studied schizophrenics, and I can assure you they are more likely to hurt themselves than other people. It's very rare for violence to be directed at a total stranger like Terry O'Connell.
He was on the loose when the murders were committed.
So was I. So was half of Mount Thomas.
All right, one thing we do know is the hospital wasn't secure, so if Danny can get in and out, so could others. Take a seat, Albie. Detective Sergeant Goff, homicide.
Homicide? And what the hell's Terry been up to now?
Mr. O'Connell, I gather you and your brother didn't get on very well.
There's no secret in that.
Who were you last night between 9:30 and 11 o'clock?
In bed, asleep.
You prove it?
Come on, mate. How's a bloke supposed to prove he was asleep? I was with my missus, and she was asleep too. Now, what's this all about?
Your brother was murdered, Mr. O'Connell, and given your dislike of each other, we just want to eliminate you from our inquiries.
Murdered? You're joking.
I'm afraid not, sir. So where were you?
Look, mate, I'm up before sparrows fart to get ready for the milk, and I work me guts out all day till about 8:30, and then I'm ready for the cot. You ask Tom. He remembers what it was like. So how'd he die? Overdose?
What makes you say that?
Well, I was telling Tom. He wanted to chuck the towel in, you know. Thought it was too hard, swan around the world all his life. Hard. Should have tried farming.
Anyone got a grudge against him?
Oh, he hasn't lived in the town for 30 years. Before that, you could take your pick. Fathers, brothers, boyfriends. Without a skirt, Terry would chase it.
And where was he living before he came back here?
Philippines, I think. Cheap labour, plenty of girls. Yeah, suit Terry right down to the ground.
I thought your brother was married.
What's that got to do with the price of fish? Oh, yeah. That Jap down at the pub. Well, if you ask me, she knocked him back so often he married her just to get a bit. Look, I'm not going to pretend that I'm sorry he's dead, but I didn't kill him. I didn't hate him enough to risk prison, okay?
Hello. Might need to talk to you later, though.
You know, if I was you, I'd check up on that Jap. They don't have our respect for human life, you know. My dad once said...
Yeah, all right, Albie, we get the picture. Thanks very much. See ya.
Fingerprints say there were no prints on the bed frame or the bedside table, possibly wiped clean. Prints elsewhere are being cross-checked with hospital staff, but the murder weapon was clean.
A lot of planning has gone into this.
Well, the pathologist confirms Dr. Hamilton's preliminary report on the cause of death, but the murder weapon is interesting.
Murder weapon. Specialised manufacture, laminated blade, tempered steel, oil blued, probable Japanese origin, type associated with Yakuza ninja-style assassinations.
Puts us right back with the little wifey.
After I left the hospital, I was distressed. I walked back to my hotel to calm myself. I went to my room, I changed for dinner, I came downstairs. You saw me, I think.
Well, you made a point of talking to Senior Constable Schultz. Now, a suspicious man would say you were trying to establish your presence.
It's your job to be suspicious. I wanted to thank him for his courtesy. Then I had dinner.
At what time was that?
I'm not sure. Probably about 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. And then?
I stayed in the hotel. Mount Thomas is very quiet after dark.
So you weren't in the bar?
No. I went to my room to get a book and sat in that little private lounge until quite late. The woman there will tell you. She brought me coffee and then some quite pleasant wine.
So you didn't leave the pub?
Where was there to go?
I don't know. Maybe to the hospital. Kill your husband.
What an absurd idea. I loved Teddy. I had no reason to kill him.
You were having a very public argument with him the night he died, Mrs. O'Connell.
He was angry with me, yes. And do you know why?
Why don't you tell me?
Because I refused to help him commit suicide. That's why he left me.
You don't seriously expect us to believe that, do you?
When you told me he was dead, I thought he had been able to bribe one of the hospital staff to give him drugs. He was very determined.
He didn't die of an overdose, Mrs. O'Connell.
However he died, I didn't kill him.
Yeah, that's right. She had dinner in the pub and then spent the evening in the parlour.
Well, she couldn't have slipped out without you notice.
Well, I doubt it. The door was open. I told her she could close it, but she said she wanted the company.
Yeah, almost as if she wanted to be seen, huh?
Well, you're the detective, but if that's what she had in mind, it certainly worked. But Len was there. Ask him. He'll be back in the tick. He's just down checking out the key.
Well, she's pretty thorough, I'll give her that. Do you want a beer? No, thanks, mate. There you go. All right. What time did she check in?
Oh, about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. She asked for the best room. Then the bloke that drove her up took her upstairs. They had a drink together, and then he headed off.
Yeah, well, hang on. Well, she doesn't seem like the type to socialise with a hired help, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think he was a friend, though. He's very concerned for her comfort.
All right. Did you get a name?
I don't eavesdrop on my customers' conversations. But, as it happens, he was a very good-looking bloke. Blonde, blue eyes.
He's just, your type, in fact.
Peter, but no, Dieter. She called him Dieter, but can't help you with the surname.
Thanks.
Dieter is an old friend of my husband's.
Really? But, not of yours?
I have only known him since my marriage 5 years ago.
Well, if he's a friend of your husband's, Mrs. O'Connell, why is there no record of him visiting the hospital?
Perhaps they had already said all they needed to say.
What's his surname?
Grunwald.
Right, so this is Mr. Grunwald, accompanying you from the Philippines. Hired a car, drove you up here from Tullamarine, and then just turns around and drives back.
Yes.
Any idea why he did this?
He's a good friend. He thought I might need support.
Are you lovers, Mrs. O'Connell?
No, we are not.
Have you arranged to meet him later?
No. I do not know when I will see him again.
Well, I'd like to have a chat to this, Dieter.
First, you must find him. Now, I am very tired. I would like to go back to my hotel.
No, all in good time. Now we'll need your flight details, your home address in the Philippines, and the car hire place he used. Where's budget, boss? The car was returned yesterday morning. Apparently 24-hour hire.
So the birds flown?
Immigration records show a Dieter Grunwald entering the country but not leaving.
What, a passport under another name?
Maybe. Look, get ABCI to run a check on him. I'm sure the mysterious Mr. Grunwald's left his mark somewhere.
It's already underway, mate.
So who does that leave us? Albie? Frankly, I can't see it.
Well, his motive's strong. He's been working his guts out on the farm. His big brother's been off living it up. Not giving him a brass razoo all these years and then turning up looking for a handout.
Yeah, I spoke to his missus. His alibi's rock solid. Then there's the Ice Maiden.
Well, you'd love it to be her, wouldn't you? Well, the problem there is that her alibi is Chris Riley and Len and anybody else who was in the pub that night.
It's just too neat, you know? I mean, look, she always has an answer but doesn't tell you anything.
Oh, they're inscrutable, these Orientals, aren't they, PJ?
Yeah. Pretty hard to crack someone like that. A lot of crims, you know, they've got their pride. They like to brag, tell you how clever they are. You get them talking, you're on your way.
Both Albie and Itsuko think it's suicide.
Yeah, well, it's a bit hard to kill yourself with a stiletto in the throat, though.
It's not impossible, though. Method of choice for samurai women in 16th century Japan. You see, slitting their guts open was considered unladylike, apparently. And a blade into the throat also made sure they wouldn't dishonour themselves by crying out.
How do you know that?
Oh, I read books.
There were no prints on the knife. He couldn't have killed himself and then wiped the handle clean, could he?
Then there's that nutter, Daddy Locke. I'm sure he's in the picture somewhere.
So how'd you go with that babe last night, mate? She seemed pretty keen.
It's the old Patterson charm, son. Works every time. Hello? Look who's on the loose.
He's not a prisoner here, you know. He's here of his own free will. He wanted to go into town. There's no reason to stop him.
Yeah, but I mean, he's,
Mentally unstable?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, Constable, haven't there ever been times in your life that you felt like you've lost the plot?
Yes, I suppose.
Well, multiply that about 100 times and you have some small idea what it's like for an untreated schizophrenic. They're also very susceptible to the effects of stress, like being picked up by the police for no reason.
Point taken. So what, we can just leave him here with you?
Yes, if he wants to stay. He's stable enough now to make his own choices.
Right, tell me. Oh, excuse me, sir, am I keeping you up?
Yeah, let me tell you something. I've got 6 months before I retire. Better blokes than you have given me a hard time. What do you got?
Nothing. Grunwald came into the country on a 6-month visa. Now he's vanished. Yep.
PJ, stuff coming through from ABCI and O'Connell. You're going to love this. Terence Joseph O'Connell, born Mount Thomas, Victoria, 5th of November 1947.
All right, Mags, just get on with it.
After Terry left the army, he became a soldier for hire, working primarily in Asian countries.
Well, including Japan?
No, most recently in the Philippines. He did good business in illegal firearms, too.
So, Terry never did stop fighting.
Here we go. 5 years ago, he married Etsuko Sakaiwa, Japanese national, resident of Manila. Nothing more known until 8 months ago when he was injured in the line of duty. Copped a bullet in the spinal cord, leaving him paraplegic.
There you go. As our friend Daniel might say, those who live by the sword die by the sword.
Well, ABCI suggests that his murder may have been an assassination, particularly given the technique used.
Yeah, it's courtesy of the missing Dieter Grunwald, I'll bet. Any mention of him in there?
I'm a hitman in Mount Thomas, a bit rich for my blood. This is just a quiet little country town.
Yeah, where old mercenaries come to die. Look, they've got to do it somewhere.
What about Danny's devil in black? The shadow that he said followed him from the hospital. Now, what's to say he actually didn't see something?
Poor bloke doesn't know what day it is.
Ninjas, mate.
Break it.
Ninjas.
Could we be
Ninjas.
serious about this,
Get that
please?
forensic report, will you? The bit about the assassination weapon. Ninjas.
Associated with
Yakuza.
Yakuza and ninja-type assassination.
You see, ninjas run around, they're all dressed in black from head to toe, only their eyes showing. That could be young Daniel's devil. Ninjas.
Oh, Ted Faulkner is going to love this. He'll transfer me to a nice, quiet little posting somewhere out in the middle of the great sandy desert.
All right, looks like we've got two possible scenarios. Number one, Grindelwald's been hired by a person or persons unknown to kill Mr. O'Connell.
And given O'Connell's history, that's quite possible. For revenge, shut him up.
Second, Mrs. O'Connell's decided she doesn't want to be married to a paraplegic, so she's enlisted Mr. Grunwald to do it.
And I think she could be quite persuasive.
Also explains why she's been so tight-lipped. She's got an alibi, but Loverboy needs to get clear.
There's also the little matter of conspiracy to commit murder.
Well, knowing and proving are two different matters.
Yeah, can't see her breaking down and confessing.
Let's get her in. Just her out. We picked up Dieter Grunwald, Mrs. O'Connell. He's told us everything.
Everything? I don't understand. What is there to tell?
Stop playing games, Mrs. O'Connell. He's dumped you right in it.
Right in what?
You arranged for Dieter Grunwald to kill your husband. You've been lovers for months.
That's simply not true.
He's admitted it. And he's implicated you in both planning and execution.
He wouldn't. He couldn't have.
Okay, Mrs. O'Connor, here's the story. You meet Terry, you fall in love, hearts and flowers. Age is no problem when two hearts beat as one, right? But then suddenly, he's no longer the older, dashing man. He's an aging, dependent husband, a liability.
You're wrong. I never thought of Terry like that.
Then there's hubby's good friend. A little friendly persuasion, knock hubby off, steal his money, live happily ever after. Isn't that the way it was, Mrs. O'Connell?
Oi, do you know who this belongs to?
Yes, that's mine, mate. It's about time I got here.
There you go. Oi.
Paul, think about you watching this sort of stuff, mate.
Mate, come on, it's just a video on motorbikes. Give it back.
No, no, no. Let's just see if you're watching any subversive material. There's a charge for that, you know. The old toast on.
Hey, boss.
What's this
Come and check this out.
Forgotten what it's like living in a small town. Mate, there's a lot more of you than there used to be. Thank you. You're married, aren't you? Well, legally, yeah. But it's finished, so...
G'day, Tom. Finally got to be a star, eh? You almost caught me, too. I was just about to spill my guts when you came in. You're a smart bloke, Tom. You should have worked out how and who by now. Let me tell you about the why. See, Dieter and I had an agreement. If either one of us is hit and helpless, the other one is bound to help him out. I left the Philippines and I came back here. I knew Esco would contact Dieter. He'd know what to do. But Esco put a spanner in the works when she showed up. She tells me Dieter's here. So I know it'll all be over tonight. But I'll make sure Dieter gets this tape because I don't want Esco to take any blame for what's happened. Yeah. You'll probably think I'm selfish, Tom, but after the things I've done and seen, I can't live like this. I wanted to come home, where my family's lived, be buried on my father's land. I want you to tell Esco there's a letter for her at my solicitors. It'll explain everything. And tell her I love her, Tom. I might not have always showed it, but I really did love her. This is the way warriors choose to die. We have a choice.
Looks like I might get a trip to Manila before I retire.
You're going to go after him, then?
That's the law, Tom. Some poor bastard's very dead and someone else is responsible. Got to be punished. Dad will find him. I'll check this, see what it gives us. Fingerprints, postal details. Not much to go on.
Well, thanks for your help. And good luck with the retirement.
Thanks, mate. You got a good team here.
Tom, you said so.
Nah, don't tell him that. They'll think I'm soft. I'll tell you one thing, though. I think this country has done me a lot of good. I'm feeling better.
I'll see you later.
Are you sure you won't join me?
No, thanks. I'm still on duty.
When Dieter offered to escort me here, I had no idea what he intended to do.
Would have made a difference.
I don't think I could have stopped him, if that's what you mean.
And what if your husband had changed his mind?
The last time I saw him at the hospital, he ordered me out of his room. He was not going to change his mind.
Mrs. O'Connell, Whatever he said on the video, it's still murder.
Terry lived in our culture for a long time. He admired the samurai warriors. Some things rub off. In the old days, you know, we had seppuku, what you call harakiri, ritual suicide.
Well, those days are long gone now.
A man who wished to commit suicide appointed a friend to be his second. The friend's task was to behead him before the agony of the belly cut caused him to cry out. Was that murder, would you say?
Well, as our law stands, yeah.
He hated being helpless. Such a proud man. I know you think I did not care for him. I loved him. I will love him all my life. Think what you like.
Now, there's got to be easier ways of topping yourself than that.
Well, it's not so easy when you can find it, Ben.
How about bonking yourself to death?
That doesn't sound half bad.
Uh-oh. It's enough he's cornered the boss. Boss, we just thought we'd give you a hand with the glasses.
Very thoughtful of you, Patterson. But Danny and I are just having a bit of a chat.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. It's something I'd like to show you. This is what I do. This is what I see when things are going well for me. Or...
Looks like a really nasty hangover.
Yeah. Well, for me, they're both sides of the same coin. If I want that, then I have to deal with that.
I'm not sure it's a choice I'd like to have to make.
Yeah, well, in a sense, I don't really have a choice. If I go off my medication for too long, that's all I get.
Then why risk it?
Well, because if I'm zonked on drugs, I can't paint. And I'd rather be awake and mad than asleep and sane. Anyway, I just wanted to explain it to you before I left.
You're going back home?
Yeah, back to Adelaide. I got a good support group there. And my wife will probably be glad to see me.
You're married?
Yeah. Anyway, thanks. I'll be fine.
Till next time?
Yeah, well, life's a bit of a tightrope for us all, Constable.
Well, anyway, best luck to you, Danny.
Yeah.
Here we go. Go time. All right, everybody, grab your glasses. To life, whatever it might bring.
Cheers.
Cheers.
He's inside, in the kitchen.
Is she okay?
Just right, and she found him.
Is there anyone else inside the house?
No, look, all our visiting, thank
All
God.
right, mate. Behind the car, thanks. I'll take care of it.
Man, bastard set the place alight.
What do we do now?
You just stay here, but don't put your gun away. How's it going, mate?
Who are you?
I'm Nick. And what's your name?
Danny. Daniel. Daniel, come to judgment.
Hey, Daniel, do you want to tell me what you're doing here?
This is my temple. Temple of the Lord God.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you, mate, looks like a kitchen to me.
The Lord is everywhere. He was born in a stable, you know.
Yeah, I've heard that. I have heard that. Now, I know this may look like your temple, but it's actually somebody else's kitchen, and I reckon they might want to use it.
The blood of the lamb. Gran cooks a leg of lamb every Sunday.
Yeah? And I bet you helped her sharpen the knives, didn't you? Because you've done a very good job there.
Will you tell her that I did so she won't be angry with me?
Dan, I will do that. I will, if you just drop that knife and slide it across.
Don't fawn on me.
No, I won't do that, mate, I won't. Just drop the knife and slide it across the floor, mate. Just slide it across the floor to me. Go on. Well done, mate. Good. So, tell you what you should do, Dan. Put some clothes on. Come outside with me and my friend.
You don't
Adam.
understand. I'm safe in here. If I leave this, they'll come.
Who might they be, mate?
The night things whisper in my ear. They tell me I'm a child of darkness. Darkness is everywhere. Darkness everywhere.
Look at that, eh? There's heaps of light out there, isn't there? Go on, mate. You just put the coat on. You come outside with me and Adam.
Hello, Magda. The usual. There you go.
Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you.
We'll see you next month.
God willing, Sergeant. God willing.
Poor old duck.
Who's met a creep?
Why? Because she believes she needs our official permission to keep on living.
Yep. Oh, she's harmless, I suppose.
But you believe people like her should be tucked away somewhere nice and safe.
Now, that's not very fair.
That girl wasn't fair, Patterson. Life isn't fair.
Come on, Danny. You take a seat over there, will you, mate?
You're going to lock me up.
No, we're not.
No, come for me. The whispers.
You'll be right. Just sit down
Don't
there.
lock me up, Nick.
Come on, just sit down, mate.
Because I won't be able to get away from them.
Look here, you're safe. You see that? Bit of light for you. Boss, have a word.
They're armed intruder, I take it.
Yeah.
You got a name yet?
There's Danny or Daniel Locke.
Locke. There used to be Locks in the district years ago. An old couple there. Probably dead now.
Oh, he's going on about his granny's Sunday roast.
Well, there might be a connection. Did you look in his bag?
Yeah.
Any ID?
Well, there's nothing useful. He's got $40 in cash, a bus ticket from Adelaide and some personal stuff. That's about it.
I was hoping for an early night.
Well, what are we going to do with him? I mean, you've heard him. He's terrified of being locked up.
That's not appropriate anyway. Well, there was no sign of forced entry at the Lucchini place.
No, he just walked in through the door. He even brought his own candles. Don't worry, it's all in the incident report.